Hello, everyone. Most welcome on this 51st episode of the Limitless Show. Welcome to everyone on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and my dearest Limitless tribe. Thank you so much for being here with me week after week, months after months, and finally, we have completed 1 year as well. And you will be very glad to know I want to share the good news with you that the Limitless Show is available on all the podcasting platforms. It's available on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcast, Anchor. So you can watch it or you can just listen to it while you're driving or doing any other work. So that's the good news. And you, of course, there's many more of you who are going to join this movement that I started about a year plus back. Why this got started was because I didn't want any other person live in that mediocre mindset or that victim mindset where they think that they cannot be what they want to become. I want to help each and every one of you who has dreams to fulfill or who has the potential which they feel they haven't unlocked for themselves. You are there to be helped. So just reach out. I'm also a strategic interventions life coach, and I help you with your habits, patterns, with your self image, self confidence. You just need to shout out, and I can help you with that. So, today I have a beautiful guest with me. And the first time I ever connected with her, I could feel something, happening between both of us. I could feel a deep connections because some things do not have a name. I could instantly, feel that connectedness. And no wonder I felt that way because I found that all of our values were matching and so many other things that she does. And she's a very deep personality, very, very deep person. And recently, just, she was on the TEDx stage in Mumbai, Rambagh. So she had the opportunity of speaking as a TEDx speaker. She is none other than the founder and CEO of Poorna, Wellbeing, Deepa Mahesh. She's also a life and leadership coach. She's a well-being interventions expert. She's a mental health advocate. And her Pune Wellbeing, her company is a route to shoot leadership transformation company, which specializes in enabling leaders to consciously root in their strengths, core values, and their life purpose to enhance outer impact. And she does a lot of other things, guys. I'll not get into too much of details because we are going to listen from the horse's mouth itself. So let's bring on Deepa Mahesh with a warm round of applause. Hey Deepa, so
Hi,
grateful to have you here and so feeling so energized and excited about our session.
absolutely. Me too. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Deepa. So I was telling them that first time we ever connected, I could instantly feel a connection with you and your personality, your thinking, and everything about you. So why don't you take them on this, journey of where you also had those self-limiting beliefs and that same mindset which you broke, and now you are on that limitless journey. You already were a TEDx speaker. So what was that journey all about?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with you. The moment I heard you the first time, and I think the second time when we connected deeply, there was deep connection. And I knew that we were meant to be together. And look, we are here today working
Yes,
together. Super.
yes.
So, my journey, very interesting, grew up in a very conservative family with a lot of values. And one thing I must say, obedience was a norm and it was a value which was inculcated. It was important. And I took to it. My personality is, I would take to whatever is told to me, I would obey, I would not retaliate or rebel. And that gave me security and it was important for me.
Hmm.
So went along, but in this process, I really didn't know what I wanted. Very dependent, and especially my grandmother and my mother. Both of these people, I was very, very dependent on. So almost like unke chhaya mein, whatever they are, whatever they wanted, I did,
Right,
and I
right.
enjoyed it. I loved it. uh, when I remember when I had to fight my battles, and my mom would go to work, I was with my grandmother. I would ask my grandmother to come and fight my battles, and she would come and intervene, in fights, etc. And it was very interesting. But इसमें क्या हो गया कि I kind of lost myself. I really didn't know who I was, what I was. When I had to, then I went when I started going to work, I realized that I lack confidence. Not just there, even what course to choose, what career to take. At every stage, I was at a crossroad, and most times I would ask my mother. And I think the first decision I took in my life independently was at 24, when I decided to marry my husband, Mahesh. And that was the only time I was not dependent. But before and even after that, after I got married, again I became dependent on my in-laws, on my husband. And most of the times, the beliefs that I always heard inside were, I don't think you can do it. This is too big for you. You're not good enough. And this not good enough was a very big thing for me, because I think it came into every part of my life. Let's wait. I'm not sure if you can be a responsible mother, you know, or I'm not sure if you're going to take on this head of recruitment's responsibility well. So every time there was this something that would stop me back, because I was. Are you there?
Yes, Deepa, I'm there.
Okay. There would be something that would stop me back and hold me back, and those were typically beliefs like, you're not confident to live life alone, you can't make it big in life, or you have to wait for that big opportunity, you're not lucky enough.
Right,
Many such things, pulled me back all the time.
right.
Yeah. So how and when I went over it, or got over it. Actually, I wouldn't say even today I've fully gotten over it. Those voices keep coming. But I think in 2013 I was working for the Aditya Birla Group. I enjoyed my role, but I was not happy. And but the courage, to say I'm not happy wasn't there. One day the courage came, and I quit. And of course, I was told myself, now you don't have a card to flash. You're not good enough. And it continued. But I think from 2013, I went on a deep self journey. From 13 to 22, whatever journey I have gone into, I think the product of who I am is because of that. And in fact, in my latest TEDx talk, that opportunity that I had, that is what I shared. This is
Wow.
exactly what I shared, because I think I feel I am today an inspiration to myself. Nothing was luck. Nothing was a chance. I went through dips, and I fell badly. I did all the mistakes I could do, but I
Right.
somewhere I feel like there was grace, and I really
Yes.
believe in God and grace, and there was a self will to really get over it, because I wanted to see the powerful me. And today, I think I feel like that. I feel like a powerful human being. Yeah, and I feel unstoppable today.
Amazing, amazing. You are definitely inspiring, and yeah, we all have these voices that tell us we are not good enough. And yeah, with our journeys of this limitlessness, we just learn how
Yes,
to
absolutely.
put them down and
Correct.
not let
Absolutely.
us, be overpowered. So true. So what does, I mean, you are now totally into self mastery, self awareness, and you do so much of stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah.
mind boggling, all the different kind of things that you do. So self mastery is one part of it. So what does self mastery first of all mean to you, and
Yeah.
why is it required? Isn't learning like different skills? Because finally world is all about different skills. You
Yeah.
learn skills like maybe
True,
public
true,
speaking, all these skills. So we
true,
can all
true.
make money and we can all have a good life having all those skills. What is self mastery and why is it required?
Very interesting questions, when you say self mastery and skills. So, for me, self mastery is mastery over my inner world. And when I say inner world, things that you can't see, you can't touch, which is my thoughts, my emotions, my behavioral patterns.
Right.
You need some other lens to really see those and pick them and say, okay, this is not going as per what I want. So literally, self mastery is mastery over my inner world. Now, what's the difference between skills
Yes.
and this inner world? Uh, okay, I have a plant here, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So, self mastery or mastering thoughts is like, just a minute. It's immersed in water. It's like knowing and seeing the roots.
Wow.
When it's inside water, you can't see the roots. But I
Yes.
know when this plant is dying, I know when
Yes.
I pull it out, roots will be missing. And especially this one is fibrous, so roots go off. But imagine a deep, a banyan tree or a big one. When leaves are drying, you know that something is wrong with the roots. Self mastery is about decoding the roots or going to the roots. And skills are like what you see here. For example, when I in 2013 I felt okay, now HR, I'm no more working in HR. Now I have to reskill myself. I
Yes.
went for expressive arts therapy. When I did expressive arts therapy certification for 1 year, I felt, oh, I
Hmm.
don't know psychology. So I did psychology. I did psychology. Oh, I said, I don't know depth of theater. How do I apply theater into, because I did expressive arts. I did many, I did expressive arts, I did visual arts, I did dance, I did drama, many art specializations. I don't know this enough. Oh, I need psychodrama. So let me go for psychodrama. Skills are like that. Skills for me are fleeting.
Right.
आज है, I will want to need, I need more. I need more. I need more. And a lot of times I'm not satisfied.
Yes.
And it fleets away. That feeling of satisfaction is temporary. But
Hmm.
when I say self mastery, that feeling is permanent because once you have discovered a pattern, you will never go back to the pattern. Once
Hmm.
consciousness comes, now you will never go back to that. Now, maybe a new pattern comes and you may need to uncover that. So, self mastery is a continuous journey. I think till the last day, till I go to my grave, this journey is going to be on, and I want to be, I've made my epitaph, and it's all is right here. And if somebody were to come here and see, I have written in my epitaph to live to make a difference to humanity. And I cannot make a difference to humanity until I master my inner. So that's self mastery.
Yes, yes. So beautifully, you have actually explained this difference because I have seen personally, even as a coach in my coaching journey, and even as around me in the society, people do their engineering, then they do their MBA, and then they do their masters like MCA, this that. I mean MS, the constant fight to be better at skills. What they're not understanding is you have to conquer the inner self, you have to be aware of yourself,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
only then, yes, will you feel that fulfillment that will
Yes.
not come from outside, gathering all these different skills.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're very right, and especially as you're very right. In a coaching conversation, we come to know because when I coach senior leaders, all of them wear masks, and rightly so. They need to do that. But what happens in an intimate, one-on-one sacred space is they're willing to show their vulnerable self, and that's
Yes.
when they admit that, yeah, I've been running after this and that, but I'm not happy. There's a void. Something is missing, and
Yes.
that something answer lies in the roots. And that's
Yes.
the journey. And that's why I call Poorna Wellbeing a root to shoe transformation company.
Yes.
Because
Right.
honestly, and nature is my inspiration. Nothing can be more inspiring than nature for me. And therefore, I think it gives us all the questions and the answers and the remedies also.
Yes, if we are only so aligned to it.
Tuned. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, that is
Absolutely.
true. We
That is
have
very
forgotten to actually be in alignment with the nature and the surroundings.
totally. I can't agree with you more.
So now, how do you live in balance and how can you live rhythmically? Because I think you also have curated a program that is called Rhythms of Togetherness, where you it's based on the folk dances of India.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
is it all about, and what is living rhythmically?
Yeah, yeah. So, like I just shared with you, there are lots of lessons we learn from nature.
Hmm.
Uh, Let me tell you, in 2013, when I quit and I started my journey of self mastery, I would call it. I realized one thing, that when I was working, I told myself that I don't have time to do this, that, and this and that. And
Hmm.
when I went deeper, I realized that those things are important for my balance. Like walking religiously, every day, or committing to something that nurtures me, that holds me, that keeps me in balance. I was not doing all of that. So I
Hmm.
went deeper, and because my children went to a Waldorf school, an alternative school, and
Hmm.
I used to go to the school and volunteer. And
Right.
the school has those principles of being in alignment with nature. I learned a lot
Right.
from my children's school. And
Right.
I started keenly observing plants. I started keenly observing the sky, nature. And
Hmm.
my biggest lessons of living rhythmic came from there. Now, let's take an example of the sun. Does the sun ever tell us that, oh, I am very tired today, I'm going to wake up a little late?
No, it
You know,
does not.
Absolutely, day after day, same time. And when it comes, no, I don't know if you've ever observed, like I am a sun upasak. I just love the sun. So I have this habit of seeing what happens before the sunrise, then during, and then after, and then at 9 o'clock, what happens. I keep taking pictures, I don't know, sometimes you must have seen on in status
Yes,
also.
I've
I'm
seen.
just
Yes.
so much in love. So, and the learning is, there's so many leadership lessons the sun shows us. Let's take an example of the moon. The moon, does it ever tell us that, oh, I'm tired today, I'm going to wax a little later, maybe 2 weeks from now? She never
Yes.
tells us. She is
No.
on time, and we know, we predict. And a lot of us who are into moon rituals, we kind of time our inner, especially the women. We have a sisterhood, and we time our inner rhythms, the woman's inner rhythms to the moon rhythms, and that works in alignment. So when nature never tells us, who are we as human beings to say, I defy nature? What are we proving? What are we trying to say? Are we more intelligent, or are we more foolish? This was the
Hmm.
question I asked myself,
Right.
honestly.
Right. Right.
Because and the answer was, it was like a slap on my face. Deepa, you are foolish. Okay, now I'm foolish, and I'll be foolish if I don't listen to this. So
Yes.
that's when I started saying, okay, what does living rhythmically mean to me? And then I
Hmm.
started with simple things like regulating sleep, regulating when I wake up. When I wake up, how do I wake up? What is my inner attitude?
Hmm.
What do I think? I used to reach out to my phone first, check
Hmm.
my messages, as if the world will die, if I don't check my
Yes.
messages.
Yes.
I used to do
Yes.
that. And when I went deeper, I realized that there is no reason. I'm mindlessly doing it. And
Hmm.
9 out of 10 things I did was all mindless.
Hmm.
Unless, some things were already planned and programmed. Like I had this ritual of doing a puja every Friday morning to Lakshmi. So that was
Hmm.
rhythmic because it was timed, and for 10 years I'm doing it.
Hmm.
But again, I didn't know why I was doing it. So
Hmm.
I started questioning. So living rhythmically, and then I said, okay, I am going to live rhythmic, come what may. Very
Hmm.
easy to say, not easy to implement all the time, because the
Yes.
mind plays games. The mind says, "Oh, aaj chhod do, today let's leave it. Sleep a
Yes.
little."
Yes.
So when the mind plays games, it takes even more mastery to fight the inner, forget the outer.
Hmm.
To really make peace and say, no, this is important to me. And then I started anchoring it onto a larger goal. Why do I want to live rhythmic? And then looked at, okay, I have a rhythm in the morning, then I have a rhythm in the middle of the day, I have a rhythm in the evening, especially the 5:30 to 6 o'clock. I have a rhythm at that time. Then I have a rhythm before I sleep, a few minutes before I sleep, and then when I sleep. So I started living like this. There are lots of practices I started uh, putting in. Some I let go, some I brought in, and today I feel more or less I live rhythmic. And that brings a lot of security to me, because I know, just like I'm secure that the sun will rise in the morning, I am secure that I am going to do it. So, and also it revolves around the family as well. So the family knows that Deepa is going to journal. Mother is going to journal at night. So
Hmm.
she's not going to do anything else. So there is a rhythm around that. And
Right.
everybody knows. So there is a security there.
Right.
And this is my biggest takeaway from life, honestly, from nature, from life, that live rhythmic. And uh, you will I will not fall ill. I
Right.
will be in health and well-being always if I live rhythmic. Yeah.
Right.
So that's about living rhythmic. And rhythms of togetherness is a completely different genre of work that I did actually. I love dance because when I was a child, I used to be a Bharatanatyam classical dancer, and I also used to do Garbha, the folk dance. And for me, these two are very different forms. One is structured, very structured.
Yes. Yes.
Folk is completely let go.
Yes.
And what I discovered is today people have lost the art of letting loose, of breaking free. And almost living in stress is like a norm. Q, why? We don't need to live like that. We can break free. And then I said, how can I be an instrument? So that's when I curated this program called Rhythms of Togetherness, where, pre-COVID days, we could all meet together. So I would lead groups.
Mm-hmm.
You have these drum jamming. So, like
Yes.
that, this is movement jamming.
Right.
And, we would get together, and I had a live percussionist, and he would play four different music, and I would lead the workshop. So I would be in the center, and I would lead the movement, simple movements, and people would follow me. And the kind of joy that people would receive, it was so amazing to see them literally let go. After a point, I was absent. They would do whatever they want. I only let
Right.
them. So it's a
Right.
complete break free, from stress and anything. It is a state of thoughtlessness, and that's the
Yes.
ultimate meditation one could have.
Wow. That's so beautiful.
I know.
So both are different things, yes, but then again, that's rhythm.
Yeah.
Dancing is not nothing, but again, you are in rhythm.
Yes.
And when the
Totally.
music plays, I
Yeah.
think by default we feel like, tapping our feet and, moving our waist, doing
Yes.
some sort of activities. So I think that comes naturally. God has
Yes.
made us like this.
Yes. Yes. It's exactly like that. So we are just tuning back to who we are naturally, which
Yes,
we have forgotten. हम भूल गए.
which
No,
we
we have
have.
just forgotten it.
Yes,
Just
yes, in all
tuning
the
back.
stresses of life. Yes,
We are bringing about that realignment.
yes.
Exactly.
And you mainly focus, as I understood, is, or the three things while in your coaching sessions or anything, you focus on psychology, on, the expressive arts and the spiritual sciences. So why are, first of all, these three important, and what is the kind of uh, relationship? Is there any kind of a correlation between these three? Are they interlinked?
Yeah, it's very interesting uh, question, and it didn't come naturally. It didn't come with planning. So it came over a period of time when I started working with more and more people. So my background is that I was in an organization in human resources, and I was handling organization transformation. So I did that for 16 plus years,
Okay.
and my job was to meet leaders day in and day out and study their patterns, study what makes them happy, study what, if they do, the organization will transform and achieve the goals.
Right.
So, a deeper study of human beings made me understand that there are certain patterns that pull them down. They when they come to office, they wear another dress, not
Right.
physical dress, but the mental dress,
Yes, a persona.
a persona they just carry and unknowingly. And when they go
Yes.
out, they're very different. Like if I see people meeting, outside casually, it's very different when we used to go for conferences, etc. But
Hmm.
when they are
Hmm.
back in office, it used to be different. And that was always my inquiry. With that inquiry, I took to expressive arts and psychology. And I realized that expressive arts and psychology, so psychology gave me a lot of base of
Right.
why a particular phenomena happens. I was very
Hmm.
happy. Yet I felt there was some missing link. And so, in search of that, I went back to the scriptures. our Bhagavad Gita and all other scriptures. I keep reading, and I have been in the associated with scripture since I was 18 years old, very long time. So I've always been studying. I've been listening to bhajans, and I've been contemplating on the deeper meanings of certain texts and certain books,
Right.
etc. So
Right.
I realized that some of the answers which are not there in psychology, I got in spiritual sciences. Like
Okay.
in psychology, we say human being, but in spirituality, they say soul,
Atman.
atma. So, and
Yes.
in psychology, the levels of existence, human existence, is not so clear to me. Yeah, maybe it's there, but it's not so clear to me. But in
Hmm.
spirituality, there are five levels of existence, and which is the panchakoshas, and I went deep into it.
Right.
And to study that we are the body, we are the breath, we are the emotions, we are the intellect, and we are the spirit, and the atma
Right.
comes even beyond that. So that framework helped me to understand. I can use psychology to understand deeply uh, the emotions and the intellect bit. I can use spirituality to understand the spirit bit, and I
Right.
can use expressive arts to work with the body and the breath. So I found that whatever I wanted to work with, in human beings, because for me being holistic is very important. I am not okay with just looking at one bit of human being.
Yes. Yes.
So I cannot. The human being is incomplete without his spiritual existence.
Yes.
So when these three come together, it almost, it's like it weaves so beautifully that all answers, all mysteries of human being gets answered. And with arts, what happens is, uh, like I told you, people come and mask. But if I take a movement session, for example, they'll not know how deep they're going, but they are going deep. They'll not know. So, in just fun, senior leaders are able to shed their mask at least for half an hour, 1 hour. And when they
Right.
shed their mask, there's a possibility that they see themselves clearly. And that's my purpose in life. I want human beings to see who they are, such a beautiful person they are. But they have
Yes.
limited themselves, they have boxed themselves. So at
Yes.
least with that experience, when they work with me, there is such a possibility. And why not
Yes.
offer that? So which is why, for me, this integration really, really works.
Lovely. It really makes all of, I mean, everything that you shared, I think it makes a whole lot of a sense, because everything offers a different perspective, a different way of working with the person and getting more clarity,
Yes,
basically.
exactly.
End of
Absolutely.
the day, I think it's
Yeah.
only about that clarity,
Yeah.
first about yourself.
Yes,
We
correct.
are, I mean, we are becoming encyclopedias and trying to know everything, what is happening where, why, what is what, but then we don't know ourselves,
Yes,
which is the
yes.
basic of everything.
Yes, yes, yes. And
So
actually, the basic of ourself is we are limitless. Like your show
yes.
really says, we
Yes.
are absolutely limitless. And we just have to see, are we limiting? Are our thoughts limiting? Are our emotions limiting us? Are we in a pattern? Just that much. And then
Yes.
that's the service we can do to our own self. So, like I says, no, say no, self leadership precedes leading others.
Yes, very true. Very true. It's all inside out, not outwards in.
Totally.
As we used to think, at least till a few years back, that was the predominant thing in the world.
Yes.
But at least things have started changing, where
Yes.
people have
Absolutely.
started understanding that no, everything is not there in the external world.
Absolutely.
So what is
Absolutely.
the biggest issue, since you coach these leadership personalities of different companies? What is the biggest issue that you have come across while coaching them, and then how have you helped them resolve it? Are they, when you try to help them, are they resistant to that change, or are they cooperative and they go ahead with that? What kind of a thing do you have with them?
Okay, okay. So if we say, so I do two kinds of things. Okay, one is coaching leaders,
Hmm.
and the second is working with leadership teams.
Okay.
So the methodology may be different, but the fundamental is inside out. Even
Right.
for a team, team's roots, if they are not strong, which means the mindset is not strong, they're not going to achieve
Hmm.
it.
Right.
So, be it team or individual, it's the same thing. And a team is
Right.
made up of leaders.
Right.
So, the common issues when I work one on one, the
Hmm.
common issues that I sense, the first one, I mean, one of them is uh, they all want to make it big. Obviously, because they're in senior leadership positions, they want to make it
Right.
big. And but
Yes.
one of the beliefs that they hold is I have to stretch, and stress is a part of it. Yeah.
Right.
And I would say, really, is it sustainable? For how long?
Hmm. How
And
long? Yeah.
and I would question, where does this belief come from? Okay,
Hmm.
to be successful, I have to undergo stress, and
Yes.
bear it. Keep taking it. So this is one thing that I definitely challenge. In terms
Hmm.
of beliefs. The other pattern that I've really observed is actually about confidence. Now you'll be surprised, and confidence, are like roots. When a leader presents themselves outside, everybody shows confidence. I'm not saying everybody is not confident, but yeah, you kind of show confidence. And I'm
Yeah.
saying this because when I was a leader in my
Hmm.
organization, I also faked confidence. There's no
Hmm.
other way. I mean, if I'm going to feel weak and show that I have a trembling feet, what's going to happen? The show must go on. So
Yes.
we've all mastered this whole thing about showing confident or appearing
Yes.
confident.
Yes.
Even when I do the chemistry session, which is the discovery call, in the first session, and even the first few sessions, they do appear confident. But when then slowly we work together, the truth comes out. Because, one is they trust. And then they really say, okay, I want to help myself. I want to see what is going on. What are the dilemmas I'm going through? And
Right.
that's when they become aware of this whole thing about, am I really confident?
Mm-hmm.
How and so many deep rooted patterns reveal itself. Deep rooted patterns about thoughts, self-limiting beliefs, emotional patterns, even behavioral patterns. Like I remember somebody saying that when I meet my boss, when I have to present to my boss, to my leader, to my senior leadership, I almost feel so anxious, and it's right in the pit of my stomach. And I'm then doing this and that. I'm smoking, I'm drinking, just to manage that. So these are patterns coming from somewhere deep rooted, in the past.
Right.
And
Yes.
continuously, I'm seeing that this reveals in our coaching sessions. And there's one more pattern I'm just remembering it. It's a pattern with the body. So, you know, and I've also again faced this when I was there. There is a
Yes.
lot of pattern of ignoring the body. Till I can, let me pull on, let me pop
Yes.
a
Yes.
medicine or some pill and just move on.
Yes.
Body will take
Yes.
care. And really, for want of a better word, we abuse. And all of us do that. As leaders,
Yes.
I've seen that they do that. And because I have done that, having ailments myself. And when I started deeply listening to my body, I realized that it doesn't work that way. We need to respect our body. And so when I ask them these questions, they don't have an answer. Okay, is the body really going through pain? Oh, I didn't know that. Awareness itself is not there.
My
So
goodness.
there's a
Hmm.
disconnect with the body, and so there is a something pulling me forward, and this thing, the body, is almost pulled along with it, and not the
Yeah.
body taking the lead, that way.
Yes.
So this is a common pattern, but I don't see anybody resisting, not a single
Hmm.
one. Because see, they've committed to the process. There is a discovery
Yes.
call and there is a commitment. And after a point, they realize that, oh, I never knew all this. Had I known
Hmm.
that everything is about energy and not absolutely what I do, I would have
Yes.
thought about it differently. So there's absolutely zero resistance. And that's the best thing about this work, no, that you and I do, when we hold space for people. um,
Yes.
that's the joy that there is an openness, there is trust, and there's a willingness to do the work.
Yes, so true. And that's why I think in the last few years, though, mentors have, and coaches have really, really come into the forefront and
Yes.
they are doing so much of work. Earlier, I mean, it only used to be, I think, psychiatrists
Yeah.
with people having mental disorders, and that was like a voodoo, I mean, taboo name.
Yeah.
You never talk about going to a psychiatrist. That means you are mad.
Yeah.
But
That's correct.
now I think everyone has is more open towards the fact that we all, in fact, we coaches also have our own coaches and our own mentors. We are
Absolutely.
also human beings, and we also
Absolutely.
need to have someone guide us, hold us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
so
In the
required.
world of therapy, it is a mandate that you have to have a therapist if you're a therapist. Of course, in the world of
Amazing.
coaching, it's not mandatory, but it's healthy.
It's healthy to have.
It's
Yes, I
extremely
totally
healthy to
agree.
have a coach, and also from a skills perspective, some we don't know everything, so
Yes,
something
yes,
to fall back on.
yes. True. So, and now you are into expressive arts as well. So you work with mandala, I think you, and the clay work and so many things. I think
Yeah.
you are doing something eurythmy. I'm not sure what is
Yes.
eurythmy. Maybe you can throw some light on it, and even poetry. So, and you say that it helps with inner growth. So first of all, how does it help with that inner growth? And having a hobby, is that also a part of this artistic expression kind of a thing, where a hobby helps, if you have a hobby?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a great idea, and especially for those who are into just work and just one-sided living. A hobby is so important. But oftentimes, I've seen that we say we don't have time for a hobby. And what does hobby do? It just allows us to disconnect from a particular thing and to connect with something we love,
Right,
and it opens up our heart. So if you really see, we live with our head and with our heart, and we execute with our limbs. So it's the head, heart, and hands which really makes us a whole human being. Now,
yes,
when we work, or when we just engage in professional life, we are mostly using our head, you
yes,
know and a hobby allows us to access our heart space. And once our heart space opens, we there is a high chance that this heart space also comes into the professional space, and we kind of live balanced. So it's actually about living balanced. When
right,
I use arts, actually my journey with arts deepened after I did my expressive arts certification.
right.
And there the goal was not to de-stress. So the one is to de-stress, which is a hobby, and
Hmm.
I use arts to deepen self-awareness, also to express myself fully.
Right,
So that is where I use all of these practices. And body is very important for me. So either I do dancing. Earlier I used to do some practice called the five rhythms, where there is a format created by somebody, and I used to dance. So I have different practices. Now I practice eurythmy, and
okay,
eurythmy is actually the art of moving from the spirit. And it's a very deep uh, art form, and it allows me to be in touch with my thinking, with my feeling, and with my willing. So that's something I practice. Mandalas,
hmm,
something I really, it gives me clarity. Honestly
right,
speaking, my issue has been that I get confused. So when I get confused, I have to go to somebody, but
right,
I'm repeating my pattern of being dependent. So I wanted
right,
to stop that. So I have tried many methodologies, and today I use mandalas for getting clarity. And
right,
an example is, when I had gone for my TED talk. Now, my way of representing anything is through images.
right,
Now, when it's a talk, I need to have words with have structure, etc.
yes,
I use mandala to get my talk.
right,
So I use the form of mandala to really structure my presentation, and everything that I had spoken there came from the drawing. So for me, that became a way of structuring.
right,
And then I use even free art. For example, if I'm overwhelmed and I want to know what's going on, I just take paper, I take crayon. So my space here in front of my workspace is full of colors. So when I want to ask myself what's going on, I just take colors. I have my art book always next to me, and I'm just scribbling. And after I finish the scribble and I ask myself, I can see it very clearly. Okay, what's happening with me? So imagery becomes my way of understanding myself and expressing myself. Uh,
Right.
I've created, we at Poorna Wellbeing, we have created a product called Story Cubes, where
Okay.
they're cubes with different images, and we would, if you just have to, it's like a dice game, you just put it, place it, and then you can say, how you can ask yourself, how are you feeling, and pick those dices because there'll be different images, and it gives you clarity on what am I feeling at this point in time. So,
Okay.
arts for me is a way to express, is a way to get clarity, is a way to ground myself when I am feeling overwhelmed.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's such an, I mean, it's kind of, a total different perspective
Yeah,
on the arts that I'm not, from an arts background, and I'm not much into arts. My daughter is, she keeps painting and doing a lot of crafts and art and all of that. But I find it so beautiful. And maybe, I should try it out too.
definitely, definitely. Actually, in my heart, no, I believe I'm an artist. But it's not the artist that is in the normal parlance.
Right,
It's
right.
just
Got it.
the thing that I have given to myself, and whatever nourishes that artist in me, I do. I engage in.
Yes, right. So now you also talk about shrinking or the expansive energy or the fear or flourish energy.
Yeah, yeah.
So now, of course, I mean, we know that we all, this whole universe, we human beings, everything, whatever looks like a matter is ultimately energy. Everything is energy, no doubt. But what are these energies that you talk about? And they are the ones that have to do with the manifestation process, right? Because
Yes.
what kind of
Totally.
energy zone you are into. So would you throw
Totally.
some light on that?
Totally. Totally. Yeah, sure. So my belief, my fundamental belief, and this I have discovered from spiritual sciences, that everything around me is energy.
Right.
Everything outside is energy. Everything inside is energy.
Yes.
So, what is the outside energy? Now, I let's say go to office. I'm traveling. I'm driving. I'm going to office, and I see that there is a block or traffic jam. Now, that's an outside energy. Now, in a traffic jam, outside energy, what do you see? What do you see, Anshu? What would you?
Chaos.
Chaos.
Chaos, negative energy.
Yes. See, you're also
Mm.
saying you're speaking. So outside is negative energy.
Yes.
So now in this, now I'm driving. I let's say I'm not driving. I'm sitting next to the driver, and there are two possibilities inside. What could be the two possibilities?
Either I react, I start getting stressed, oh my God, I'm going to get late. When is this traffic going to get clear? Or I
Exactly.
just sit back, I relax, I let it take its time that it will take, end of the
Yes.
day, and I can do something more productive.
Exactly, exactly. So there is an outer energy which you're saying is chaos, etc., the negative. And there are two possibilities of inner energy. One is sit back and pause and all of that, or get hassled and stress, etc. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is it's all about this. If whatever is happening in the outer has an impact in the inner, then we also have a choice. So the fear energy or the limiting energy is like closing up. It's like shrinking. It's like contracting. Yeah,
Right.
and
Right.
the expansive energy is like expansing. That's the flourish energy. That's like opening up. Now, both energies are needed and are important and have its place. For example, when we see the sun rising in the morning, it is expansive energy. When it sets, for it is shrinking energy because it is going down. It's not going to be accessible to us.
Right.
And then the moon rises. So
Right.
when the moon rises, it is expansive energy. And when the moon
Yes.
sets, it's shrinking, but then it gives way to the sun.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and this principle actually is inside. So when I feel shrinking energy, I have those thoughts. and I have those emotions of either fear, anger, irritation in the traffic jam. And if I am in expansive energy, I can make choices. Then I have, when there's expansion, there are unlimited choices. So I can do whatever I want. Let's say play a nice music, or make a call to somebody whom I'm not caught up with for a long time, or just chat with somebody who's next to me, who's driving, or just enjoy the fun.
Enjoy
Whatever.
the fun, listen to podcast. I think thousands of things we can do. Maybe
Yes,
read a book if you're carrying a Kindle or
correct,
something.
correct,
Yeah.
exactly. See, so expansive energy throws up limitless options, and in
Yes.
shrinking energy, we almost have no choice. And it's like a negative downward spiral. It goes down and down and down, and not only are we caught up, it just emanates. Even next people next to us, they can feel our anger, irritation,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
this actually is a pattern. If we are always, if this is our pattern of responding, then we will access that only,
Yes.
limited. If
Yes.
expansion is our habitual pattern, we will access that. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times I've seen sunrise, and people who are habitual to limiting energy, they say, अरे उग गया यार, मुझे सोने ही नहीं दिया, आंख में आया.
I
Eyes,
know. Oh,
you know?
yes. Yes. I know these kind of people also.
Yeah. So can you see how habitual patterns to an event outside, which is expansion, can
Yeah.
have an impact of limiting inside?
Yes.
So, like you said, it's an inside out thing.
Yes.
Now, if you connect it to manifestation, so obviously, who will manifest more?
The person with expansive energy. I
Yes,
mean,
yes,
with so
exactly.
much of stress and anxiety, how can you manifest at all?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And yet, there is a catch here. So, people with limiting energy do manifest, but it
Okay.
comes with a lot of stress. It comes with
Hmm.
a lot of fear. And what is the
Hmm.
fear? Okay, I have done it now. I don't think I'll be able to do it again. The feeling of security is never there.
Okay.
So
Right.
there is no belief, the self belief. So what happens is, when you believe, then it
Hmm.
strengthens their energy. You've
Hmm.
achieved it, but you don't believe it's yours. You believe it's fluke. You believe you're lucky. You got lucky by chance.
Yes. Yes. That
That is
self
also
doubt never leaves you.
self-doubt never leaves. So it never reinforces that you're powerful and you're good enough and you're limitless. And if
Yes.
you've done it now, you can do it again. And
Yes.
that is a downward spiral,
Yes.
perpetually in that limiting energy.
Yes.
So they do achieve, but with a lot of stress. And then that belief gets strengthened that to achieve, to be successful, I need to be stressed. So
I
you
need
see
to.
how it's a pattern.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I think in the last 5, 6 years or so, I think taking massive action and hustling are some words that have
Yeah.
taken a very dominant position in the society.
Yes, yes, yes,
And everyone who wants to achieve is of the thought process that I need to hustle, hustle,
yeah,
hustle. And that is hustling is basically doing the outside work,
yes,
the work
yes,
on the outside, but never the inner work.
yes, yes, absolutely. No, and there is a deeper reason. I've inquired into it because I was exactly like this. I was a successful HR professional, very successful, lot of
Hmm.
fame, everything I had.
Hmm.
But why did I quit? Because I did not know the art of managing and living in balance.
Right.
And this downward spiral, nothing ever, no, the imagery I have is, it was like a bottomless pit.
Right.
If there's a pit and it has a hole down, and you keep putting in, you
Yes.
put fame, you put achievement, you put more number of certifications, but it won't stay because there is a hole down.
Yes.
And I've understood why this hustle is coming. It's also because how we are conditioned.
Yes.
See, our parents had to hustle. They had to do what they did because their conditions were not as good as our living conditions today. They've
Yes.
gone through a lot of hardships, and especially we are the middle generation.
Yes.
Our ancestors really, so the generation before us lived in scarcity. The generation before that lived peacefully because their demands and needs were very less.
Yes.
So then after that, our parents' generation, needs increased, wants increased, and hustle also increased. And they believed that you have to
Hmm.
hustle. So we grew up that way, saying that
Hmm.
don't sit, don't waste your time. Do. Oh,
Hmm.
you're taking 10 minutes for a bath. And today, see, in spa, we go for 1 hour and it's not
Yes.
waste of time. So you see the whole context is absolutely changing. And
Yes.
self-awareness is also about stepping out of the context that we grew up in and choosing our context.
Yes, we all need to redefine
Yes,
everything. I think, Deepa, it's all about because the conditions that we grew up in were not ideal,
yes,
and if we keep living in the same
yeah,
conditioning pattern all our life, we can
yes,
never go limitless.
yes,
That was exactly the thing which was happening with me as well, because the
yes,
society that we grew up in, the education system, the society, our parents, families, everyone was of the same thought pattern.
yes,
Study hard, work hard, get a job, earn well, settle down. I mean, those kind of same thought patterns. Are
absolutely,
dekho, his son has gone to the US, his daughter has gone to Canada, and you also need to go.
yes,
Those kind of, I mean, it was there in every family. You were successful if you are going for a, with a visa somewhere.
yeah,
So
absolutely right, exactly,
yeah. So we need to break free out of that. We need to
yes,
decide for ourselves what success means to us
yes,
personally. What
yes,
gives us that joy, that satisfaction, that
yes.
that fulfillment?
Totally, totally. And that is what actually is the process of self mastery. And somewhere I think today I feel I've cracked the code that I can be in peace and I can live peacefully, even if I have an activity or not. I have work
Yes.
or not. I have
Yes.
more work, I have less work. I have
Yes.
somehow I feel today I'm in far more balance. It could be
Yes.
even better, but I would say that I feel fulfilled where I am. And yeah, I feel good because I think I have every right to live peaceful and happy. And I have a right to say today I will not work and be peaceful
Hmm.
about it. And today
Yes.
I will overwork, I will work a lot and be peaceful and joyous about it.
Yes.
So,
Right.
I mean, that feeling, no, that power for me is when I have a choice. And when I
Yes.
make that choice with thought, with
Yes.
enough care and caution,
That is freedom, I think.
that
That's
is
the
freedom.
freedom we all look for.
Yes.
Having that choice and being at peace with that choice.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
So I think, if I'm not, mistaken, for Shimantran's, the community that that's there, you also did some journaling, 21-day thing.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
since we constantly talk about journaling, would you actually give a little more details to the audience? Maybe some of them are not journaling at all, or some of them are in the beginning stages. So
Yeah,
how
yeah,
can they take it further?
yeah, absolutely. So I have been a journaler for the past 2 decades now, and that's my go-to place. So, what is journaling? Basically, simply put, it is just using your hands, the power of your hands to put your pen to paper and now put your fingers to laptop, whichever way,
Whichever
to
way.
allow your thoughts to become visible to you. It's simply
Yes.
put that way. What is hidden inside, let them come out and let
Yes.
you have the privilege or I have the privilege to see my thoughts and emotions
Yes.
and musics. So it's
Yes.
simply put that way. Now there are two kinds of journaling, and especially if somebody is at the starting stage, the easier way to start is to start with prompts. For example, have a few number of prompts. If you just go to Google and say journaling prompts, whole lot of prompts come up. So what I did for the journey with Shimantran women entrepreneurs were basically each day was a different prompt, and they would write their responses to it, and in the end we would open up for sharing. So in
Okay.
this sharing, it was like a workshop,
Right.
but it was like a self-paced workshop.
Right.
But even if it's not a workshop, you can just take a few prompts. Prompts are like, how am I feeling now? Or how did I feel in my first job interview? For example, if it's career based journaling.
Right.
So Prompts can be again theme based. Prompts can be about your life. Prompts can be about how about mothering. Prompts can be about professional accomplishments. Prompts can be about strengths. Prompts can be about weaknesses. Different categories of prompts can be developed.
Depending on what are your priorities are at this point.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So prompts, that is one criteria, one way of journaling, and beginners would really benefit from having prompts. The For the seasoned ones, there is the other way, which is stream of consciousness journaling, which is simply put, just put your pen to paper, sit in front of your paper, and just write. Say, I know that if I'm already doing it, I know I don't need to be convinced about why to journal. So just put your
Yes.
pen to paper, allow whatever is coming to write.
Yes.
And normally, we don't go back to our journals. But these days, I've started asking my clients or even others, who generally talk to me, to once in 15 days, go back to your journal and just read and mark patterns. Because what we don't understand is there in the journal.
Yes.
We have written it, and it has come out of us only. So when you
Yes.
see the patterns, you will know thought patterns. You'll know what are the thoughts that come, which have come into the journal, but which have not come to the consciousness. So
Yes.
journaling is a fantastic way, either a structured process or unstructured process, to get clarity,
Yes.
to really get clarity on the inside, on my responses, on even the world outside. How do I view a particular phenomena or person in the outside? It is
Yes.
fantastic way. There is a third method of journaling which I often resort to, which is art journaling.
Yeah.
So, and that is because I love the power of arts, and I love it because it allows me to unmask. It allows me to really see what is for what it is, and not add filters or layers to it. So
Right.
if I'm saying how am I feeling now, I can just take colors. So for that, colors can be with you, and just allow your hands to make a picture. You're not creating anything. You're just expressing. And
Right.
then pause, and after you finish the expression and you feel complete, you can look at it and see, and you can then write a few lines or words or some phrases. That again gives you clarity. So there are different ways you can do it. Mandala can
Right.
also be used as a journaling process. Like
Right.
what did I do for the TED talk? I actually journaled through the mandala,
Right.
then
Right.
converted into words. So
Right.
that was the process. So these are the ways to do journaling. Very, very effective. I mean, uh, why I'm saying is because, see, I was a person who was always dependent on somebody.
Yes.
When I got my journal, it became my mirror, it became my best friend. And then somehow I don't have to depend on anyone. Today I'm
Yes.
confused. I know my journal is there. I'm
Yes.
not dependent. So it almost makes me free and access true freedom as a
True.
simple.
True. Yes, yes. I know the power of journaling. The first time ever I felt it was way back in 2020. I was journaling a lot because
Oh,
even I was confused. I was not sure, which path I wanted to take for
yeah,
myself. And I
exactly.
was journaling and I was answering a lot of questions and, jotting down the feelings. And that's when it emerged to me that, I want to help people who
Yes,
have been through the same phases of life as I have been through. And,
exactly.
and that's how the reality of this talk show also came into the picture. So I think journaling, I cannot vouch for it more than this. It's
Exactly.
a fantastic tool, and amount of clarity you get out of it is enormous.
Totally agree.
Yes,
Totally
so
agree.
true. And the last question in this round before we move on to the next, it's already 1 hour, but we'll just extend by 5 more minutes. So I know you already believe in limitlessness.
Yeah.
So who, according to you, is limitless? Who, according to you, is limitless?
Yeah, for me, each one of us. That's the first answer that comes to me. And to me, it comes from this whole feeling that we are actually souls in a body. And when we were born limitless. I mean, when you see a child, do you ever see there is a problem with the way the child smiles? The child is limitless. The smile is limitless. The joy the child transmits to us is limitless. In that moment, we feel limitless. in
Yes.
that, when we see the child. So we were
Yeah.
all born like that. You, I, all our viewers, we were all born like that. Where did we
Yes.
lose it? If you really look at it, we lost it in the upbringing process.
Yes,
For
we
whatever
did.
reasons, with our caregivers, in all goodness, they did what they did for us, but we succumbed to it. So
Yes.
we gave our power out. We forgot setting boundaries. We lost it somewhere. And some are searching for it, some are not searching for it.
Some are not searching also for
Yeah.
it. That's
And some may
true.
have just been initiated. Yeah.
Yes.
So I believe that, uh, you know, when we search for that limitless self and how we were, we will search our, we will meet our life purpose. When we live our life purpose every minute, every second, every day, every year, and when we celebrate ourselves for what we have achieved. Like, I would like to celebrate you, Anshu, for having this fantastic show. I mean, there's so many
Thank you
other
so
things to
much.
celebrate, but I'm just seeing this. So, in this moment of celebration, we ourselves step into that feeling of limitlessness.
Yes.
So, who limits us? I limited myself. Who is
Yes.
going to make us feel unlimited? I myself.
I myself. Yes.
And nobody is going to come from outside, and no Bhagwan, no God is going to come
No,
from outside,
no.
because God is also inside. It's telling us what to
Yes.
do. We have
Yes.
multiple tools to do it, and just access it. And if you can't do it, seek support. Go seek a therapist. Go seek out a coach. It can be
Yes.
you, me, or anyone that you
Anyone.
resonate with,
Yes.
because
Yes.
we deserve to live, with that clarity, with that ground, with that power. We are so powerful. We are, I mean,
Yes.
every day I look at the sun, I feel this, that
Yes.
sun outside, whom we worship, we see is limitless, is here, is me.
Yes.
So what are we talking about the sun out? What about the sun in? And
Yes.
if we can access this wisdom which the nature gives us, we're going to be, our performance, our manifestation, the way we are as leaders, the way we are as parents, everything is going to be boundless, limitless. And yeah,
Yes.
I strive for it. That is my vision. That is my life purpose. And every minute I stand for that.
Yes, so true. Thank you so much for sharing that. And truly, that keeps me going as well. I mean,
Mm.
the only greatest fear for me is, not being able to, be that limitless self and not being able to experience that limitlessness with
Yes,
each and every breath, with each and every moment.
yes, yes,
Other
yes,
than that, I think, there's nothing else for me as well.
yes,
Thank you so
yes.
much, Deepa. We'll move on to the next round, which is the lightning bolt round, where I'll ask you, questions to which you can just answer in one word or one sentence,
Sure,
kind of a
sure.
thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
three core values that you live by.
Sorry?
Three core values that you live by.
Energy, empathy, clarity.
Nice. Define Deepa.
She's limitless. She's beautiful. She's energetic. She's everything.
Lovely. So, if you're marooned on an island for a month, what are the three things that you would need to sustain? You can
Book,
only have three things:
journal, basically
journal,
journal,
huh?
and a pen,
Hmm.
and myself. That's
Right.
it.
Great. So that's the most important to you.
Yeah, that's the most important to me.
What are the three rituals that you follow every single day without fail?
Looking at the sun in the morning and saluting it. I mean, worshipping it actually.
Huh?
That's one thing. Foot
Hmm.
bath, immersing my feet in warm water. That's
Huh?
another one. And journaling.
Oh, very nice. What has been your biggest breakthrough in life? Breakthrough moment in your life?
Many are there. Getting over my limiting belief of I'm not good enough. I don't have it anymore. And that allows me to access anything on earth today.
Anything,
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. I'm not scared. I know anything comes, I can do it.
Yes. So, I mean, I think you have already answered this question. How did you choose your TEDx topic? So, I think you drew on mandala and
I
From
can, yeah. This is the mandala I drew,
wait,
and
let me put you
this,
in the soul thing. Just a moment. Yeah,
okay. this
yeah,
this was
beautiful.
the this was the mandala, and
Hmm.
when I drew it, I did not know what is coming, but I saw four sections. You can see here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So
Yes.
this became my structure, and then I started writing, but then I felt there were some missing pieces, so I drew another mandala, and I don't know whether it's here or not. Yeah, I drew another mandala, which gave me more clarity
Mm-hmm.
on what those missing pieces were. And yeah, I think it's not here. Yeah, I think it's not. It's not. It's in another book.
Huh. Right. But from this you got the clarity of your
Yeah, this
topic,
this
what
totally gave me the clarity, and the
right,
clarity that emerged was living conscious is my
right,
topic. And
right.
this talked about how I live fragmented. If you see the image, how I live
Yes,
fragmented,
yes,
and then I was in search, but it's not easy. And then I
right.
did a lot of rituals to find peace here and there. And then
Hmm.
finally, in all of this, there are life's lessons which make my life feel complete. So this was
Wow.
my flow,
Right.
and this was a structure. And from here, then I went into another mandala where I divided the
Hmm.
circle into 8 pieces, and each
Okay.
piece meant something for me. And from there,
Right.
it became clear to me that what would be the finer nuances in my talk.
Right. Right. So beautiful. So beautifully you have done it. So that gives us a good idea about it. What is the one thing that makes your knees jittery at any point of time?
Speaking to a large audience still makes me feel jittery. And even though I've conquered it, it is not easy, but it also makes me excited.
Right. Right.
It's
So it's
both
both the
actually.
things. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who
In
is
this now, one of the thing is the intensity. Jittery, the intensity is lesser, and the excitement ka intensity
meant
is higher.
is
So
more.
it balances,
It
rather
balances
that
out.
works out.
Right, right. True. Who has influenced you the most in your life?
Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi.
Okay.
My ultimate goal of my existence is to access the level of silence that he had embodied in his lifetime. So he is, I mean, I connect to his consciousness now and then to really be able to go to that space. So I will go to that space only when I achieve that level of self mastery that there is nothing to explore inside.
Yeah. Nothing else remains now.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you have a mentor or a coach for yourself right now?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I do. And again, my coach is a psycho spiritual coach, and it's not that there is a routine. We discuss. Yeah, it is at a plane that I want to work, because for me, my work also is holistic and psycho spiritual. So the coach I have chosen is also like that.
right.
Yeah,
Of course. I mean, you need to be able to relate, and they should be on
yeah,
a more
totally,
elevated plane to
totally.
be able to guide you.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yes, that's
What's your
correct.
most what's your most favorite time pass? So I think you would say expressive
Stargazing.
arts is what I'm
No,
thinking.
sky gazing.
Wow.
I just love sky gazing. So 5:30 to 6, that's my time when there's a
Huh.
transition, no, in the circadian rhythm. So,
Huh.
it allows me to de-stress just looking at the sky and the birds flying. Oh, I love it. And I generally have this habit to watch the sky in the morning, in the evening, and at night. So morning with the
Oh,
sunrise, in the evening when twilight, and night with the moonrise.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And you do that from the terrace or just from the balcony you are able to do
So
it?
the sun is from the balcony, and the moon is from the terrace, and the sky is
Amazing.
also from the terrace.
Great, great. So,
Yeah,
and you're making that connect with the nature also at the same time. So,
all the
uh,
time. Yeah,
this is
yeah,
a
all the
beautiful time pass to have actually.
yeah, absolutely. Like I don't, I just can't do without it. Wherever I go, even if I travel, these need to be there. It's
Right.
automatic. Just like my patterns are automatic, this habit has also now become automatic. I don't feel good
Oh,
if I don't do it. There's not a single day I don't do it, actually, every day.
nice. So it has become a ritual actually. It's more of a
Totally.
ritual now.
Yes.
Great. So that brings us to the end of this round as well. Any last message, Deepa, that you want to leave the audience with?
Be conscious of thoughts, conscious of emotions, conscious of patterns, anything. Because I think root is very important to shoot. If we take care of our roots, shooting will automatically happen. And if we say we don't have time for our thoughts, ourself, it's like the seed saying, I don't have time to root. Unsustainable.
Yes. No doubt about it. I mean, we always talk about the building having the foundation. The deeper the foundation, the more it will be able to sustain through any kind of earthquakes, any calamities, anything. So it's the
Exactly.
same principle.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
all the beautiful and the sacred energy that you brought to the show. And I definitely enjoyed and kind of loved it every minute.
Me too. I really enjoy, especially the last round. I loved it.
Thank you so much for being with us here, and have a good night and a great week ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting.
Thank you. Hey people, so I hope again, this was another amazing episode, and I hope you enjoyed listening to Deepa Mahesh. What wisdom, deep wisdom she has brought forth. And I think some of the fundamentals, some of the things that she spoke about, you must not have heard on this show before. So keep coming back for more, and again another week I'm going to have another multifaceted personality. I'll not tell you the name, it's a suspense. Do tune in next week at 8 p.m. and you will find it out. And do not forget to check out the Limitless Show on all the different podcasting platforms: Spotify, Google, Apple, and Anchor. It's available on all the platforms. So I hope that you work on yourself, you get inspired to be limitless. That's the message that I want to end this show with. Good night. God bless you.